Hi, so I've been wanting to do a video for a while about the moon's nodes. There's something that I look at in every single soul reading and astrology chart that I do for clients. The nodes fascinate me because they're very much linked up to soul purpose and our mission and our direction in life and where we've come from. So they can play out at a personal level, but there's also this wider collective theme going on. And what's even more relevant, and really the reason for doing this video today, is that there are some galactic alignments coming up with the nodes, particularly the South Node, which I believe are going to be very significant and powerful. So what I'm going to do is just give a sort of brief overview of the moon's nodes in astrology, how they work, what they represent, talk about what's happening now, where they're currently at, and then I'll talk a little bit about this cosmic connection and influence as well. So I'm Louise at Spiral Bright Insight, and so thank you for being here. This information is very much my perspective, my belief. Astrology is a very fascinating but very broad art, and there are many different interpretations of the signs, the energies, the houses and the planets. So obviously this is my perspective through my filter, but the intention is that it resonates with you and is useful information. So when you look at the nodes in a birth chart, there are two, the North and the South Node. They're always opposing each other at the same degree point, but in opposing signs. And the South Node in the birth chart at a personal level is about the energy that the soul is coming in with. This is very comfortable, very familiar energy, often an indication of past life themes, something that the soul really knows very well, and can also be described as their comfort zone, whereas the North Node represents the energy that the soul wants that individual to sort of grow towards. So this is very evolutionary, expansive energy. It's almost always uncomfortable because, you know, the comfort zone is called the comfort zone for a reason, and if you're being pushed out of that, then you're not going to feel necessarily that enthusiastic, but it is where the soul growth happens. So the nodes change signs every 18 months. They always move in retrograde motion. So they start in one sign at 29 degrees and move backwards all the way back to 0. And collectively, the nodes are obviously always moving round the chart. And when we're looking at collective energies, the nodes really represent to us at a societal level or even a humanitarian level. The North Node represents the energies that we need to sort of be working towards to help our evolutionary growth. And the South Node are the energy where we are sort of walking away from. So it's no longer in our sort of highest timeline. And it's also because when we're thinking about the South Node, it's usually the lower expression of the sign that we're working with to let go of. So this can involve shadow work, and it's shadow work that we as a race of humans need to look at and deal with and face if we are to evolve. So the moon's nodes are currently on the axis of Taurus and Scorpio, with the North Node in Taurus and the South Node in Scorpio. And they've been there for a while, so they're currently at 4 degrees. So they've done the bulk of the sign already. They're going to move to 0 degrees in July before they head off into Aries and Libra. But what does that mean for us? So the energy of Taurus, which is where, you know, we need to be sort of looking ahead for future growth. Taurus is very much a sign of stability, of simplicity, patience, consistency, reliability. So, you know, this is about, you know, if we want to grow as a race, you know, there are things that really we need to be able to strip back. And Taurus is about simple life pleasures. It's also about resources. So that includes finances. It includes what we own, what we use, so possessions, resources like food, energy, sort of petrol, fuel, all of those areas come under scrutiny. And it's also about values. So this is very much about focus on what is important, what should we be valuing, you know, what can we, what is most important to us. So an appreciation of nature is very significant under Taurus, and also sustainable living. So these are all the themes that are coming up for review, and there are lessons that we need to learn in all of these areas if we are to grow. But in the opposite sign of Scorpio, this is more about digging deep and looking at what has been hidden, because Scorpio is the sign that takes us to the depths, and often we need to really face the shadow to be able to transform. It's very sort of phoenix transformation energy, and in its higher expression it's very healing, because when we face what is hidden and we shine light on it, then we can then grow and evolve and heal from that. But the themes that the South Node is helping us to work through are not particularly pleasant ones. It's all about purging the lower energies, all linked to power, and that can be abuse of power, control and abuse of control. And Scorpio is about intimacy, it's about sex, it's about what we trade. So our resources, it's also about money. So where people have been abusing money, where they've been abusing sex, where there's been sexual deviances, destructive behavior, even occult practices. And also as a water sign, Scorpio also rules things like toxins and poisons. So where they've been used for nefarious purposes, all of this is themes and that we are being called to look at as the South Node works through this sign. So this is very much about walking away from what is corrupt, what is rotten, what is broken, so that we can sort of embrace the higher expression of Taurus. So it's not easy work, and I think it's fair to say that, you know, little by little, information is coming out on where there has been abuse of power and manipulation and control and deceit and deception, and that will continue. But we have this conjunction coming up, so it's going to be mid-June is when it gets really tight, but it's active now because it's a 2-degree orb, and that's with a cosmic point called the Shapley Attractor. Now, the Shapley Attractor is a very, very powerful cosmic point. So it is thought that it's a black hole or a gravitational force, and certainly it's pulling energy towards it. But whenever there's a transit with this point, which lies at 2 degrees of Scorpio, this point is representative in astrology of truth and integrity. So it's almost like a magnet pulling away anything that is no longer in alignment with authenticity and integrity, anything that is secrets or hidden or untruths, deception is going to be literally pulled away, stripped away, if you like. And that is what this energetic point is doing. So the themes of the South Node are already about that, releasing and eliminating and letting go of those lower vibrational energies. But this conjunction with this cosmic point really gives, it's like a boost, it's extra support, or even more sort of expansion, magnification, or of that energy. So, you know, this is a time where, to me, it feels like we've got a lot of sort of higher cosmic intelligence and wisdom coming in to support us with this, is potentially quite challenging and dirty work at the end of the day, because it's not easy to look at your shadow. It's not easy to accept, that there are people that, haven't got, humanity's greatest intentions at heart. And, it's not easy work at all. But with this alignment coming up, that it just feels that there's this sort of higher vibrational cosmic support coming in to assist us. Now, so that happens in mid-June. June, to me, feels like a really significant month because Pluto, which is currently in Aquarius, is going to move back into Capricorn. It's going to hit that anoretic crisis degree point, 29 degrees of Capricorn again. And that takes place on the 11th of June. And Pluto hasn't finished doing the work, breaking down and, you know, deconstructing what is no longer fit for purpose in our Capricornian areas of lives, which are our government, structures, institutions, settings, yeah, anything that is about that top-down approach. Pluto's going back to finish off what started, and that's going to be taking place the rest of the year, more or less. And obviously the moons in June are falling on the axis of Gemini and Sagittarius. That's all about information and wisdom and sort of, you know, what we're learning, what we're sharing. And we also have the solstice. So that's a very top line look at June. I will look at it in more detail nearer the time, but it just feels like there's a lot going on. And although it may feel at times that it's very slow, and I know a lot of us want things to be sped up and happen more quickly, you know, it has to be thorough, it has to be done properly. And these alignments and conjunctions sort of give me hope and faith that actually we're not on our own, and we do have support and help helping us to move through it. So, and it is part of the plan. So thank you so much for watching. If you've got this far, I'm Louise at Spiral Bright Insight, and I look forward to sharing more with you soon.